Cheers, pals.
Welcome to the podcast, Throw in the Pals.
Woo, indeed.
Just coming in with energy.
Nice.
We're talking about Sinners. Oh, this is the podcast where we talk about movies. Love it or hate it, we debate it. Today we're debating Sinners.
Don't
Ryan
forget the
Coogler.
catchphrase.
Love it or hate it, we debate it.
Yeah, you
I forgot it,
Yeah,
and then I
yeah.
said it.
Good.
What's your name, man?
My name's Frank.
My name's Marcus.
My name's Tom. Barely keeping it on rails.
Yeah, thank God Tom's here to keep us all in line.
Finally. Some consistency.
The 2025 film written and directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan and a bevy of wonderful performers.
This is Michael's best work since Space Jam. I'm just going to say that now.
Michael Best Jordan.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, okay, you're making a Michael Jordan joke.
Yeah.
Someone had to early. Had to get in first.
And I was like, wait, he's not in this new Space Jam, is he?
Is Michael Jordan kind of okay in Space Jam?
No.
Is my
No.
reclamation thing.
No.
He's bad.
I guess he's just better
No,
than...
but do we care? No.
No.
He's better than LeBron.
No.
You think LeBron is better in the
I
new
think
one?
LeBron's a pretty good actor.
Interesting.
Sinners 2025.
So on this podcast, we rate films out of 11 for some reason. I'd
Make
love
it a good
someone
one.
to
Just
explain
make it a good one.
Okay, I'll make it a good one. So if you hold up two fingers, obviously it's normally like the sign for two or it's the peace sign, but also two ones, looks like an 11. And if you have to like reference pussy eating, but you're doing it in a way where you're going to be physical about it,
Yeah.
you kind of need that as part of it.
Yep.
Yep. So, and I would say pussy eating is basically the theme of this movie. And I'm only sort of kidding. I'm basically not. Most amount of on-screen cunnilingus and references to cunnilingus in a long time. In a big budget film. I think it's...
God, hang on. Real now. How many?
Well,
Go. No, real quick.
Okay.
Say it's 11. Just
Stack-
say it's 11 mentions and we can move on. This is hideous. I'm so mad at you.
Dak is teaching his younger cousin.
No, stop. It's 11 times. Great. All right, shout your name if you like this film.
Tom.
Marcus.
Frank,
Oh,
although
well.
it's scary.
How many times did you pee? Was it 11?
No, I literally
Just
tried.
say it's 11. Just say it's 11, Frank.
You're the one who's meant to give 11s. This is your job.
You're trying to make
And
us
you
break
made it
up.
so
We
inappropriate.
are the worst pals.
Like, we are not going to get... We're going to get banned from Spotify and YouTube.
For
because you
referring
said-
to pussy eating?
Yes!
Jesus, it's 2025, Frank. Maybe I
You
don't
just
know.
hit our quota.
Be an ally.
Of who? Everyone?
Yeah.
Of your pals.
I can't
Just be an ally of your
stand
pals.
you.
I know.
Do you want a quick synopsis of the film?
Yeah, go. Really.
Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back.
You just have a stroke halfway through that?
Even greater evil. And I got spooked out.
Hometown.
That first scene where the young guy walks into the church and they had the flashes of the night before.
You okay?
I was not...
Not
I knew it
okay.
was going to be scary. I knew it was going to be like a spooky kind of film. I was not okay.
So just to check, I made sure we said our names. Should we say our scores as well? Do you think that'd be a good idea? Just for the structure of the pod?
Yeah, you went straight into the first scene, Frank. Like,
Yeah, you know what?
where do we go from here?
Sorry.
That was
We all loved it. Who wants to go first?
It's a 10.6.
Wow. Wow.
I think this movie fucking rules.
Okay, wow. Yeah.
It's so good.
Marcus?
10.
We should have... Okay. We should have gone the other way around. I'm like a 7.5.
Oh,
Yeah, that is a bummer.
Yeah, like... Yeah, 10,
Yeah.
7.5. It's good. It's spooky.
Okay.
And I don't know. I did...
It's spooky.
I warmed up to it. I think I grew confident.
Was there anything in particular you found frightening in this movie?
The vampires are scary, aren't they?
Yeah, but I mean, they're only the back-ish half of the... I've seen this...
And that opening scene.
And that opening scene.
That
I've seen
opening
this movie
scene.
3 times.
And the snake in the truck.
Oh, you've seen it 3.
I've seen it 3. I went and saw it
thrice.
once at IMAX by myself, second time with you at IMAX, Frank.
Yes.
And went and saw it the other day. You were going to come, but obviously there was difficulty during the week. But I went to a completely empty theatre and watched it by myself the third
Really?
time. Which was awesome because it allowed me my performative watching that you both know about.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't go with you.
You
I-
have no idea.
I dodged a bullet.
It got to a certain point and I was like, I would have just been turning to Marcus, just like... like so much of this. And he'd have been like,
So
Jesus Christ.
When Tom and I saw it, it was in IMAX, which was fantastic. It was fully packed. We were sitting next to crowded on every side, so you couldn't do anything.
I had to rein it in.
You kept trying to grab me, and I said, "Don't fucking touch me."
Where did you pee, Frank?
In my pants.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
all
no,
over the
Max.
seat.
Yep.
Fantastic.
No, it wasn't too spooky.
Well, it wasn't, obviously.
I don't know if I would call it a particularly scary film. It uses like the genre and it uses the tropes of vampirism and just, some of the kind of horror
Can I
tropes.
say,
I'll disagree.
really well, by the way.
Amazingly, but I was mostly just kind of like, oh man, this is like foreboding and this is creepy. I was never like, I'm really frightened.
When they're trying to get into the venue again, and they're all like, "Hey, let me in," and they're not going to invite them in. Classic.
There's a tension for sure. I don't know about scary.
Who are you talking about specifically though? Because that happens a few times. Are you talking with Cornbread's trying to get in?
Yeah, the cornbread one.
Cornbread's so good in this. I love that guy. Omar, can't remember his last name. Really, really fantastic dude.
Can I say he's got a very Forrest Whitaker about him.
Oh, he does.
Doesn't
he? Absolutely. He's like a Woods Whitaker. Like not quite Forrest yet, but he's getting there.
Just one tree.
What was his name?
Omar Benson Miller.
Omar Benson Miller. Very funny. Very good performance.
Yeah, the whole cast is great.
So
Omar Benson Miller, you might know from 8 Mile or Ballers. I don't know. I recognize him from. I'm like, I've seen you. Just I know you somehow.
Who is he in 8 Mile?
Soul George? I don't know.
I've only seen that movie once. I think it's a good movie.
Okay. Gonna have to rewatch
Anyway,
it.
Sinners. Hey,
Yeah.
great fucking movie.
What a movie.
What an incredible film.
Michael B. Jordan. How do we describe this man?
I think he is one of the greatest stars on the planet at the moment.
I'd agree.
He has such, Tom, you said it off mic, aura.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, is he charismatic and talented?
He's got an air of like young Denzel about him at times. He's got he's showing so much versatility already. And the best thing about him, I think, as an actor is that he has so much drive.
Yeah.
He's hungry for it. He's a hardworking actor and he's out there doing shit. Like really doing shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's true. I think it's hard to almost outside of Denzel, which I think is a good pull, even though Denzel was maybe not ever quite as action or I mean, I suppose you've got Creed and you've got Hurricane as a bit of a predecessor there for what Michael B. Jordan's doing as well. But I do think of Denzel maybe not quite being as genre-y and maybe a little bit more sort of human drama sort of stuff. But I agree with you. I can't think of anyone else that's like Michael B. Jordan. He's a very
then
unique.
Denzel does Gladiator 2 and you're like, oh, okay.
Now that he's aged into it, he's just like, whatever, I'm just going to do my silly performance in this.
But yeah, he did, Fences and the train. Like his
yeah,
career
the
is
August
pretty
Wilson
heavy.
Movies.
Not heavy-handed, but
The crime movies, you know.
Oh, there's the three-
Shakespeare's.
really grounded dramas.
What's the trilogy he's just done?
The Equalizer. See, that's
Equalizer,
kind of
yeah.
his, which didn't come about until like the 2010s, I don't think. But that was him kind of being like, I guess I better have one of these. I better have like an action series
he
to
had
my
Man
name.
on Fire, I guess, qualify. Anyway, we're talking about Denzel.
Yes. Michael
Sorry.
B. Jordan's incredible. For people who remember, who know, he started in The Wire as Wallace. A heartbreaking performance when he's like 12 and he's so wonderful in that film. And then, he just kind of, it was very strange for me to go see. Oh, sorry, that show.
Oh my God, how dare you?
Yeah. And then the next time I remember noticing him was in Chronicle, which was in 2011. You guys remember that movie? It's about the three teenagers.
The three guys who get superheroes.
He's one of the kids.
He is too.
And I was like, oh my God, it's Wallace from The Wire. And everything I've seen him in since, I'm like, this is one of the most impressive actors.
I went
There's also
from
Dane DeHaan.
Yes, it is Dane DeHaan. What a artifact is Dane DeHaan.
What an artifact.
Yeah,
that film's an artifact. That's a time capsule.
I saw him from The Wire and then didn't resurface for me until Black Panther.
Sure, Killmonger.
Which
one
I was
of the best performances in the MCU.
Agreed.
Yeah.
One of.
Yeah.
Really not mustache twirly. I mean, the script really helps him in that movie, not to get too into it, but
Again,
it's also directed
a
by
Ryan Coogler.
It's a Ryan Coogler joint. And it's like Killmonger has that motivation of why the fuck are we as Wakandans hiding what we have from the rest of the world, right? Like, yes, we were afraid of being colonized, but then what we've done is we've colonized a certain commodity and we've taken something that we believe we should have sovereignty and a monopoly over. And so you're like,
we should share it. We could do a lot of good to the world.
He's doing it in a menacing and malicious way, but you get it, and he's so charismatic. He's such a good
Did we
counterpoint.
include that in our Villains Have a Point episode?
Oh, no, I don't think we did, because we're too busy talking about Thanos for ages.
I think
I think Killmonger's
really
the
good
best
version of
argument in the MCU. You're like, I kind of get it. I mean, I know why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's still pretty brutal, but he's so good in that.
Yeah.
He's also apparently very good in the Creed movies. I haven't seen them.
They're fine. I'm a big Rocky fan, so for me it's like I don't know. I see what they're doing. It's great for a new generation and their sort of introduction to it.
Yeah.
But he's so strong in it.
Yeah. Physically.
Yeah,
He's a
sure.
boxer. And
Also, I just want to note he is in the new Space Jam.
Michael B.
Is
Jordan.
he?
Yeah.
That
As
feels,
Michael B. Jordan.
I mean, exactly like what should happen in that movie is they're like, hey, we've got a guy called Michael Jordan, basically.
I guess we should watch it and find out what joke they make.
Yeah, nah. Just a yeah,
We can just
nah.
Google it.
Just to keep going with the Ryan Coogler thing, Ryan Coogler has made 5 movies, and his first movie was Fruitvale Station, which is with Michael B. Jordan. He's playing Oscar Gant in that, I want to say. That might not be his name, but he's playing, it is the true story of a young man who was shot by a police officer for no reason, like one of the many spate of high-profile cases around that time. So Fruitvale Station was a really interesting performance in 2013, and now we've got them working together for 4 other movies. You know, we've got them in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, we've got Creed, and we've got this. So there's a fruitful collaboration.
It's the new De Niro Scorsese.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think so.
Like, you don't see it often the directors, the writer-directors and an actor work so closely together and so well together. Like, obviously they must collaborate and it must be a really sort of synergistic sort of set, you know?
This one feels to me that Michael had a lot more say in the production value of it all, and they really did collaborate. It felt a lot more even-handed because I mean, without Coogler on board, you could almost argue that it feels like Michael B. Jordan almost directed this as well as acted in it. Do you know what I mean? There's just an air about it to me that feels like he's so strong and prominent in this whole film.
I see what you mean.
He's the stand-in for the director. Like he's like the surrogate where we're like, yeah, Ryan Coogler's using this guy to explore ideas that he himself
he's
is
the
obviously-
trusted sort of narrator.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's such. I mean, he's.
Thank you for articulating that.
Well, I was
way
like,
better than what I was.
know what you meant.
Because I was like, are you trying to discredit Ryan Coogler? Because I
Not at
think
all.
obviously his
No.
vision, it was like
Yeah.
he's one of the greatest filmmakers roaming around at this
I
stage.
don't know if I would have at all agreed with that until this movie. I would have said that Fruitvale Station was a really, really interesting debut, and it's got some interesting ideas. I think Black Panther is one of the more successful MCU films. I think Wakanda Forever kind of sucks, but that's not his fault. Or it doesn't kind of suck, it's just whatever.
It's bad.
But it's not his
bad.
fault.
It's not his fault.
I think he was under contract to do that, and I haven't seen Creed. So I was basically like, I like Black Panther. I think it's a good movie. This movie is, I'm so excited for everything this guy does next.
Yeah.
This movie is...
But he's earned the right because he would have done Fruitvale Station and then Black Panther, which is lauded as the greatest, except for like Iron Man and Infinity War.
Yeah.
The greatest MCU movie. Now he has, you would assume, free reign to do whatever he wants because the studio went, this is going to make money and it's a unique creative idea and we can let this guy sort of do it. Because now he has name recognition and now he has actors who want to work with him. So he'll get incredible cast moving forward, as he has for Sinners. And the studios will be like, yeah, cool. Here's $200 million. Make whatever you want. He's earned that now.
Let's talk about the film.
Let's talk about Sinners, hey?
Let's talk about the film itself.
So there's a couple of vampires roaming around. Spooky stuff.
So this is a film effectively about black oppression, and then it switches into and changes genre halfway through the film into a really great vampire horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think continues to be about, I think it's always about, you know, African Americanism in Mississippi at this time and the black experience. It's obviously about music. It's about colonization. It's about Christianity. It's about temptation. It's about all these different things. It's a film of dual purposes. Hey, dual lead performance. What's up with that? Turns out that might be symbolic of something, Frank. You learned something today.
I wasn't listening.
Their names are
What'd you
Smoke.
say?
Their names are Smoke and Stack.
Yep.
It's a twin performance by Michael B. Jordan. It's an incredible fucking performance. Like, so good.
I thought
so
you were talking about
distinct.
Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
And I was like, she's not in this.
No.
Did she do a song for the soundtrack? What are you talking about?
I can see how you got there.
Yeah, because he said Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was going to
Sorry to
order.
interrupt your
It's
train
okay.
of thought.
I was going to get you a beer, and I wanted one as well. So I went up and ordered a dual IPA, and then you saw that written down, and you thought it was Dua Lipa.
That's actually not bad.
Because we're
That's
not
actually
pals.
not bad. No, it's bad.
Michael B. Jordan is giving a performance, of distinction in this when he's playing Smoke and Stack.
At not one point do you go, which one's that?
Always.
You always know which one's
Even
which.
without the color coding, though, they do a good job of very quickly
do.
establishing the blue and the red hat,
It is-
the gold the grills that
Yeah, but the
Stack
attitude,
has.
the attitude is so different. It's
It is.
really
It
good.
is tricky to do these sort of like one actor playing twins moments because you look for, like me personally, I look for the overlaps in dialogue. I look for how logistically they've done this. You do. I did find that with Sinners, the dialogue it wasn't very flowy between the two, and it's very difficult to do, I'm sure, on a technical standpoint because you have to have line cut between the two. On occasion, you would have both of them in the one shot conversing, but you would never, very rarely would you see their dialogue overlapping to the point that it felt very natural. It's probably my only criticism.
I mean, technically that wouldn't be that hard to do.
And because
I don't think I noticed that, but
I think I was looking for it, and so maybe it's a weird gripe to have, and it doesn't even count. But
I think they complete each other in a way that precludes them having to interrupt each other. Like they are so in sync in this film, and they are so.
remind you of anyone?
Yeah, absolutely.
not us.
Yeah, I think they're really good at knowing and detecting what the other's going to say. You know, I think they have such a symbiotic relationship
With each other.
with each other.
I thought we were almost there.
We're each other's savages.
I do think, Tom, you said this when we watched it, like the first scene where you see Smoke and Stack leaning against the car, having a cigarette, sharing the cigarette. You can't see the stitch. You can't see where it's put together. You can't see who's the double.
Almost show offy, but yeah, every time I'm just like, woo! Like when he just hands
It's
him
great.
the cigarette.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good. I mean, like, that's the day and age we live in, right? Like the special effects, if they have time to do it, can do anything.
Yeah.
like that's
And they are
amazing.
a trade-off of each other. You know, they're restraint and temptation. They are like I wouldn't say like light and dark is the right way of looking at Smoke and Stack, but they are business and pleasure, right? They do represent that flip side, even just in the way they move when you see them discover the snake on the back of their truck.
Yeah.
And Stack throws the knife to Smoke and he stabs it. And it's like, yeah, these guys are like, there's a mechanism to the way that they work that is so beautiful and well realized.
Yeah.
You have so much of the movie in the first hour-ish is them apart. We've only seen them share 2 scenes together, and we're like, I get it. I fully understand these guys. You have given me as much as I need to invest in their relationship.
Yeah.
And now showing them separately the business and pleasure
But also-
trade-off.
but they're all like, they know how to work together. They know how to separate, like divide and conquer, right?
Yeah.
They set out with their 2 different plans. They go and they get it done.
This is it. Smoke's more stern. He's more austere. He's more down the middle. He goes to get the materials they need for the night. He goes to make sure they don't get robbed. He shoots people if they get in the way. Meanwhile, what's Stack doing? He's teaching pussy eating. That's what he's up to that day. And he knows that that's going to pay off later.
Tom's
and
favourite bit.
It does. It does. Okay.
It does.
It comes up so much in this movie, and it's incredible.
It really
It's like
does, Tom,
an
but I wish you hadn't opened the episode with it. You know what I mean?
I see what you mean.
Like,
I
No,
know
I'm glad he
if this is
derailed the
someone's-
episode so
If this
early.
is someone's first episode, they are offended, they are shocked, and they're turning us off.
I think they're like, oh my goodness, and looking over their shoulder.
Yeah,
and they're
to
just
their
kind of
family.
turning up.
and
a
they're
little.
fanning themselves slightly because
Yes.
they're getting a little hot under the
Hey,
collar.
if a 1920s family
Everyone-
is listening to this by the wireless,
Yeah.
they are scandalized
sitting
right now.
down as a family
Yeah.
in their evening radio play.
Yes. Regardless, I think that, and then Stack goes off and he recruits Delroy Lindo, who plays Delta Slim. You know, he goes and gets cornbread, and his methods are so much less methodical methods, great. His methods are so much less precise. They're so much looser, right? The way he recruits Delroy, it's like he's got the beer, he's willing to put the money up. The way he gets cornbread is by insulting him. Fuck you and fuck your wife, and then somehow manages to turn that into a recruitment.
But isn't he
thing.
an old friend?
because
Yes.
it's only because of the wife.
I think so, but he knows that's going to work.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
always
yeah.
has that confidence that he's got the right approach. It's also the scenes where we meet the love interests. So we've got Smoke going to meet Annie, and we've got Stack meeting Mary at the train station, and the trade-off between those where there's a tragedy, a shared loss of a child, and returning to that heartbreak between Smoke and Annie. And then with Mary, again, I didn't write this movie, guys. It's not my fault. One of her first lines is, but then you stuck your tongue in my coos and fucked me so hard I thought you changed your mind. And you're like, whoa, this is a different vibe. These guys have a different thing going
It's also
on.
interesting coming from Haley Steinfeld, who we know from like Pitch Perfect and Hawkeye.
I-
you know what I mean? Like,
I only know her from True Grit. and it's
Oh,
one of
okay.
the greatest performances ever.
She's
and then
great in
she's
this.
really good in this.
She's great in Hawkeye. She's great in Pitch Perfect.
She's actually very good in
I've
Hawkeye.
never
surprising.
seen Pitch Perfect.
Also, when you say Annie, do you mean Beatrice?
I don't believe so. Isn't Annie played by Owumi Osaka?
No, it is Annie.
I'm almost
I'm
positive.
almost certain it's Annie.
She's not listed.
So there's a way in which Coogler, the Cougs, as you were calling him. Coogler.
Yep.
He bisects the narrative and lets these guys explore the place that they've come from, right? Obviously, they've left, they've gone to Chicago, they've returned, they are...
Did they work for Capone? Did I catch that right?
I think that, it seems like they would have in the 30s,
Oh, I
right? In
swear
Chicago.
that's what they said. I
It
swear
must
that's an
have,
actual
it
line.
must have been a Capone thing,
You've
right?
seen it 3 times, so
Yeah, but
I don't think
he's-
they say. I think it's like
what's
alluded
the
to.
Italian wine and the Irish whiskey. So they must have they robbed them both.
What are the
I,
two
blame
I
each
don't know.
other.
I feel like I haven't pulled this from thin air.
I
feel
don't.
like
I don't
they
think you're wrong.
literally
I
say,
think he says Capone at some point. I'd literally just spilled something myself gesturing then, but it's okay. I won't even. Isn't that embarrassing?
You are right. It is Annie.
It's Annie. Fantastic.
Great.
Wanmi Masaku is so
Wunmi
good.
Masaku. Yeah. Sorry.
Wunmi, sorry, not Wanmi.
No. I think
won
I
me
said her.
over.
I think I said her. Very good.
She's so good.
I
Have you
think
guys
I said
seen-
her name
have you guys- I know I keep talking about Marvel stuff, but have you seen Loki? She's so good in Loki.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it? That's such a shock to me.
Okay.
Do you know why I love this film, Tom?
Go on, Marcus.
Do you know what other film it reminds me of?
Babylon?
Was that a serious answer?
It reminds me of Babylon in a lot of ways.
What?
No. This film to me,
Actually.
whilst being
I love winning Frank over by doing nothing. What the fuck? I see his point. I see his point.
Yeah.
whilst I think this is easily the better film,
Yeah.
it's got a Dusk Till Dawn
100%.
feel to it.
I think it's definitely drawing on from Dusk Till Dawn.
Of
That's the one where
course it
Tarantino
is.
drinks off
Salma Hayek's
Selma
foot.
Hayek's foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a... Ugh.
Guiltiest wank I've ever had.
No.
Yeah, I agree with Frank. That's not true.
No,
There's
wait,
no way.
wait.
No.
Actually, no, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
I'm cutting that.
It's got from Dusk Till Dawn vibes. It's also
PG.
It lifts a scene directly from The Thing, and I don't care because it's a really great scene. But in The Thing,
Yep.
Kurt Russell ties everyone up and he tests their blood to see if they're the Thing. Remember, he gets a bigger of
Oh,
their
you're
blood.
talking about the garlic.
The garlic scene. It's
Gotcha.
literally, it's like, this is the thing. And that's fine, I don't care. Like, great. If you're going to do it, do the
And
thing.
they do it well.
It's really fun. They always find an opportunity to explore Smoke's severity and his willingness to use violence as a corrective force, and they always find an opportunity to pursue Stack's horniness and like willingness to just have a good time. And so even in that scene where Smoke smacks, he's already threatened to shoot Sammy with a gun at some point, and then he just hits him in the side of the head because, of course, he's threatening Pearline if she doesn't try the garlic. But yeah, I mean, this is a horror movie in its influences, but it's also got a lot of influences in blues music. Obviously, there's a lot of like Robert
God,
Johnson and Muddy Waters and stuff like that.
Can we talk about the dance sequence
Wow.
in the middle of the film? That is one of my favorite
Before
sequences.
we do, I think to preempt that, we need to preeminate. We need to talk about Miles Caton.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's Caton. I believe it's Miles Caton.
Okay.
He has such an incredible. He's relatively young, slender-looking
I
guy.
think he's 19 when
Is
they
this his
shot
first
this.
film?
They say introducing, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is
Technically
one of
must be.
those great debut performances.
Yeah.
He's so fucking great in this. His
And
voice.
Michael B. Jordan is the audience when he sings in the car. And he's like, "Oh, I got this little song we're gonna plays," and his slide guitar and has this incredibly thick, rich blues voice. And Michael B. Jordan is, what does he say? He's just like,
Woo!
Great.
We gonna make some money.
Yeah.
I remember saying
But
to
everyone
you
thinks.
when we came out, I'm like, one of my favorite shots, and I'm so glad that Coogler finds an opportunity to use it twice, is he's playing and when he starts singing and it's the reaction shot of Michael B. Jordan, and he's just so captivated, but like it's so hard to convey a shock that looks that genuine.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I would never have expected
because
this.
it's his little cousin, right? And they haven't
Yeah.
seen him for years, and he's grown up, and now he's this amazing musician. And the movie doesn't work if he's not that good.
Even his
100%.
speaking voice is so
So he
beautifully unique,
sounds
though.
kind of like that, but I've watched a couple of interviews with Miles Caton. He's a little bit higher pitched, a little bit less drawly. And then I've watched
Bringing it
some
down.
interviews with Ryan Coogler, and I'm like, oh, he's doing a Ryan Coogler impression. Like, he kind of is making himself
Really?
sound more like Ryan Coogler in the
Interesting.
movie, which is a great pull.
It's
That's
a little
good
jarring,
choice.
just the way he looks, and then the voice that comes out. All of a sudden, you're like,
don't
whoa.
expect it.
He's
You
a
don't
young,
expect it.
he's a young kid, but
Yeah.
He's so good.
he's so good in this. You wanted to talk about the,
well, you have to.
maybe
right? So
the greatest scene in the history of cinema.
So when he starts playing in the venue and it moves into this time warp, I don't know how else you describe
sorry,
it.
actually, at the start, do you want to talk about how they talk about these special people in cultures who, when they sing and when they're making music,
Yeah.
are drawing from spirits and other times and are
Yeah.
connecting sort of parallel universes and all
Yeah.
this thing and opening up portals and crazy stuff. Or
and
how you want to
it's
describe
the
it.
most surreal sequence I think I've ever seen.
And
Do you know actually? Fuck! Do you know what it's like? I've just occurred to me. It's that awesome music clip that.
Fatboy Slim.
No. This is America.
Don't joke.
Oh, Donald Glover. Yeah.
Gambino.
Childish
Gambino.
Gambino.
Yeah, it's definitely got
It's
that.
got that feel to
Yeah,
it.
I know
pieces just
exactly what
coming
you
in,
mean.
all the different cultures coming in.
Yeah, and this the rotating camera, and you're seeing everything just happening. Like, it's choreographed so well.
Yeah.
And it's simple, right? Because the camera's facing this way, so then who's behind you is the 1980s guitarist, and then he's in shot, and it's like it would be really simple to do,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
And then it pans up, and the roof's on fire.
There is a lot of bodies in there though. Like, that
Oh,
is-
yeah.
it is impressive.
I'm not saying it's not
No,
well done. It's
no.
just like it's like classic simple trick photography.
It's
Of
like
course.
tightrope absurdity as well. Like, it is one of those things
I
where
wasn't sold when it first started. I was like,
it is one of those
What?
things where you could imagine
And then-
mishandled a beat. It's like, this is a bit silly. You're going a bit grand with this. You've got like girls like twerking, and one part you've got people that are obviously meant to be of like Eastern origin. You know, once you cut to the Asian couple, and you've got a few things that you just the guitarist,
Yeah, it could end up-
like you've said, the electric
Yeah.
guitar. You just be like, is this going to look silly, Ryan?
it's going to end up looking stupid like Babylon.
transcendent.
Like Babylon.
No, Babylon's good.
Yeah.
well, we can talk about that later. Again, talking about the music and the sound design and the atmosphere that is created in this film. And like, we saw it on IMAX. So like the sound was just enveloping you. And it just builds from like a guy playing a blues song, stomping his foot on a stage. Simple, basic, wonderful.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, the room is shaking.
Yeah.
And you are covered in sound. It
I
is
think
like,
honestly, on paper, this film to me doesn't. I don't know how to say this. It doesn't feel like it deserves to be as good as it is. Like,
yeah.
you
It's
read the
just
synopsis
it's
and
a
you're like,
simple film, right?
what are we doing
I
here?
thought the trailers made it look perfect. I was like, oh, it's a horror picture. Like, it's a genre. It's probably going to look pretty cool. I'll go
Yeah.
see it in IMAX.
Yeah, it'd be like a fun vampire
it's
romp.
way too clever for its own
Walloped
good.
me
Yeah.
when I walked out of this. I could not believe how emotionally intelligent it was, and how like well pitched at its extremity. How from that scene onwards, where Preacher Boy first plays, basically for the rest of the movie, I'm at varying heights of like, this is some of the most transcendent cinema ever made. Like, I love this movie so much that I can pinpoint the handful of moments that I'm like, I really wish I loved that more. And it's not even anything that ruins the movie for me, but there are moments where I'm like, that's why it's not quite a perfect movie to me. That's why it's not
Haley
quite a perfect
Steinfeld
movie to me.
spitting in his mouth.
I think maybe 12 out of 11, right? Like, how much can we go?
And-
so good that the reaction to "Babe, you're drooling" is "You want some?"
Yeah.
And then she spits in his.
He just
You know
nods.
it's real.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta.
I mean, how else are you going to do
How
it?
else
You can't
you
just go,
People out there buying bathwater, I think this is like normalized almost. you know?
Yeah,
That's true.
That's so true, actually. In the 1930s as well.
The prosthetics
like, that
are-
girl probably has like the nastiest.
Well,
This is
they're
what
not,
the
they're not
dental
all
hygiene
using
did.
Colgate.
Gingivitis.
the body horror, and once everyone gets shot or transforms and all this stuff, the prosthetics or special effects are pretty gruesome.
It's
That's some
gruesome,
heavy stuff.
but it continually returns to a film about music, and a film about how music is shaped by heritage and culture shapes
and
music.
do you think also like family?
I think so.
Or brotherhood.
100%.
But I
It's
think
about
the family.
it's about intergenerational stuff. It's about what we inherit, and it's not just about racial and ethnic and cultural things. It's about familial stuff. It's why your daddy's a preacher, our daddy's a bad man. We can't go to Mount Bayou. They won't accept us there because of the legacy we carry. You can be a preacher boy. And the point is that the true sublimity of life exists in the middle.
Here he
you
goes.
can't be extreme on one side.
you really
with
ramped
the
up quick.
Christianity and the high-minded virtue signaling, and you can't be, or just virtuous, not virtue signaling, and you can't be the extremity of the depraved, the damned, the 1,200-year-old Irish vampire. But somewhere right in that mixture between the end of the day where the light kisses the horizon and it goes orange, and you have two twins who are men who make each other better by their distinctions. Their virtue is that they share something, but there is one thing or two things different about them that makes them better men because of their proximity to each other. And it's why when Stack dies in Smoke's arms, Smoke sits up and says, best thing about me was him. And it's the most emotionally devastating thing that this man lost a piece of himself.
Oh, you sly devil! You caught me monologuing.
It's the second most emotionally.
I know what the one for you
Yeah.
is.
Oh, go. What's
Yeah.
the first?
The first one, oh my God, I can't even talk about it without sobbing.
No,
At
do
the
it.
end of the film, when Smoke has been shot finally,
Yeah.
and he's sitting on the ground, he's having a cigarette, and he looks over, and now that he's dying, he sees his partner, Annie. Annie?
Annie.
That's right. And she's holding their son. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
It's
she's
so amazing.
You know what she says to him, which I didn't actually get until the third time.
What's she say?
Because this movie, as I monologued about, is about the Smoke and Stack are
so good.
representative of, yes, the weird tension within this era, the meeting place, the nexus between depravity and virtue, and that they, without one another, cannot really attain, I don't know, the truth of who they are, right? Like the loss of one kind of derides or deprives one of part of who they are. But Smoke can achieve some sort of grace in death. One, through killing the clan members, but two, also through passing on to Sammy. Like, take this and bury it. Go do something with your life. Like, I can't do that anymore. I've lost my brother. But then when he's smoking the cigarette and he sees Annie with their child in the afterlife, and she says, if you put that cigarette out, you can hold him. I don't want him getting any of that smoke on him. And it's not Smoke anymore. It's Elijah, right? Like, he's transcended Smoke. He's transcended that
that's a good
criminality
line.
and that aspect of
it's
himself.
so good.
Because he's become Elijah, much as Stack is Elias, right? You know, and maybe is no longer able to access that.
I'm just like, really.
Do you know? And
It's
this
so
is back on what you
beautiful.
said before. This is one of those scenes where it could have been like it's
So
a tightrope.
cheesy.
This could have
So
been
cheesy.
the Iron
It
Claw.
could have been the
thing.
Iron Claw. Thank
now,
you.
see, I love that scene in the
No.
Iron Claw, but I understand more why people
This is
don't
the
like that
better
scene.
version of that.
I agree.
Absolutely.
This is definitely
you.
the better version, even though I like
would
the
say
Iron
not
Claw.
that that's bad. I don't think that's bad. I think, and Zac Efron did his best with what he could. This is this is one of the greatest moments in cinema in the last 10 years.
Not
You
not to be a nitpicker, but it's Jeremy Allen White in that scene, right?
Oh, you're
'Cause
talking about
when he
sorry,
crosses into the
I
afterlife.
was talking about Zac Efron crying with his kids.
Yes, but that's
Yeah,
the scene
no.
you mean is
Yeah,
You know
the
what? Actually,
afterlife.
I take it back. That moment is bad.
Yeah, I thought you thought that.
Thank
you. Yeah.
I kind of think it works. But anyway, yes, that's a beautiful scene. A top of many
and then
beautiful
when
scenes.
the guy that's on the ground that he shot like speaks to him and takes him out of it, you see him snap out of the moment, and it's
Yeah.
almost like, how dare you take him away?
Listen,
from
I
that.
got money. Yeah, just like empties a
Kills him.
clip into
So
him.
dead.
Very
So
satisfying. Yeah,
Such a cathartic moment.
But the fact that the clan is in this is an interesting distinction between O'Connell, who plays Remick,
Jack O'Connell.
Jack O'Connell,
Very good.
Cook from Skins years ago. Got a really interesting legacy sort of to him now. And
I think it's chef to you, not cook.
yes, chef.
you proud of that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
He's fantastic in this.
Yes, and me for 1 second.
You're right.
You're proud of that?
I'm sorry.
Jeez. Jack O'Connell is very
Remick
good.
is very good, but the point is, I think I got to a stage with this movie when I watched it the first time where even to the degree that I was enjoying it, I can tell you one of the lines in the movie. I said before that there are moments that I go, if I was being...
You can tell Tom's seen this 3 times and Marcus and I have only seen it once. And we're like, yeah, it's pretty good. And Tom's like, you know that line
That
of
one
dialogue
line
at
at
an hour
1 hour
33?
20.
No, but this he
also
can watch
his-
it once and do that. That's his superpower.
Big brain
unfortunately.
Tom, we call
Yeah,
him.
I know.
Big brain. I think
Okay.
that
No capacity for the rest of life. Just
No capacity for us.
timestamps.
Don't do Rayman. Don't do Rayman.
Tom watch movie.
Yeah.
Tom no drive.
no try.
Tom no job. Money.
Continue.
I apologize.
Where are you going? Go back to your beautiful monologue.
Oh, Remick. I couldn't remember what I was talking about. Remick is a representation. You think when you first see him, you're like, oh, right. When he shows up at Lola Kirk, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but he shows up at that Southern couple's door. He sees the clan robes, and you think, oh, he sees that, so he recognizes, oh, these guys will sympathize with, like, these guys are racist just like me,
Yeah.
right? You think he's going to be a little like that. And you're like, yeah, I get it. The movie's playing
Something about
on white people are vampires and they have sucked the soul out of black music and they have made it their own. They've commodified
Yeah,
it.
Elvis.
All this
No,
sort of stuff.
I was going to say, like, I kind of thought when he rocks up, I was like, maybe he's a good guy. Something about his face. I know. But I was like, he kind of looks likable.
He's on fire.
Can you imagine
I know, but-
that guy showing up to the door
Yeah.
and you're like, honey, can we let this nice young man in?
I didn't know who the vampires were yet. I thought Smoke and Stack were going to be vampires, and that's how they got the money.
Just to be very clear though, when you see him running towards the house and he's charred, basically
Charred on
the
fire,
back,
fully burnt. I thought. I mean, obviously,
you thought he was victim to some
like-
sort of
yeah,
I thought he'd been
horrendous accident.
attacked by something.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was wrong.
No, hey,
and it's okay
that's
to
fine.
admit that.
That's fine.
But I
No
think
judgment.
maybe the expectation is the movie's
He has a
going to...
likable face.
He does. The movie's going to play with that symbolism of vampires as colonization of white oppression.
Yeah.
And as the movie goes on, you're like, this guy's... it would be wrong to say that Remick is woke, but this guy is not racist. He's more like when they're like, y'all clan? And he's like, sir, we believe in equality. Like, he's so quick to be like, no, not me,
Don't
not
pay me with that
absolutely
brush.
not. And you're like, he feels like a I don't see color sort of guy, where you're like, that's still bad, but he's also a 1,200-year-old Irish vampire. He legitimately isn't racist.
No, because he's seen everything.
And
And all he wants is he
He's
just hates
just
people
about
who.
about unifying everyone in the vampire
And
race.
he
right?
makes it sound good. When the key scene to the movie is
It
when he
looks
comes to the
good.
side of the door
Yeah.
and he's like,
In his defense.
look how happy Stack is now. Look how
Yeah.
happy Mary is. We're all just chilling.
Their harmonies are stunning.
We'll go kill the rest of the clan. Don't you want that? And it's like, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, this is the best argument
I
I've
want to
heard
be
for
a
vampirism.
fun Irish
And it's-
vampire who sings
they're
and
doing the
dances in
jig
the
around
moonlight.
the
Go
fire.
do a jig.
They have communal thought and they all know each other. Like,
People have posted that that gif online of him finishing his Irish jig and all the black extras coming over and cheering on for him. And everyone's like, this must be so good for that white boy. It's just like, he looks so excited. But yeah, I love the Irish jig that he does. I love that he gets more Irish as it goes on to
So
start with.
that's my question. Is he is putting on this southern voice?
I
this southern drawl.
believe so.
He has to be.
I think he's basically like, it would sound weird if I sounded as Irish as I actually am in this setting.
I don't think it's there's no transition. It just snaps. All of a sudden, he's Irish.
He does it when he's specifically for one scene when he becomes really Irish. Thy
you tell-
kingdom come, thy will be done. He's reciting it the way he learnt it
Yeah.
when the
Yeah.
British colonization. He could be however many hundred years old. It wouldn't matter. It's always Irish, the British occupation of
so
Ireland.
Tom, when we saw it, you were like, yeah, his accent's a bit shaky, isn't it? That's what you said to me. as we
I
walked out.
did, and
So
then
you've come to a realization that, oh, no, that was a choice.
I basically think that he's doing his accent
I
from...
need to turn your mic down. You are like coming in so hot,
I'm
my
sorry.
man.
I'm sorry. I think he's doing his accent from Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, which is his stage show, the version they did.
I've not seen it. Is it about a cat?
You'll never believe what kind of roof they put the cat on.
It's so hot.
It's made of tin. Oh.
Go on.
Is that where they?
No, don't continue.
Something
No, please continue. You want to say cat on a hot tin roof?
Jack O'Connell's in a production of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof where he plays Brick, I think, whatever the main guy in that it's called. And he's like, do you say something, Maggie? And you're just like, I don't know, Jack. You sound like you're from London. Like, or he's English. He's
Yeah,
like
halfway
kind of
there.
Northern
Yeah.
English Irish.
Yeah.
And so you're like, that accent's pretty weird. And then I realized that's basically what he's doing for Sinners, but it works the more you go, yeah, he's kind of putting that on. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a real accent.
Yeah.
He also has like 5 different accents as like the Irish Irish when he's reciting the Lord's Prayer, but also both times he says, Sammy! Where it's like he doesn't say anything else like that the whole movie, but he goes full Adam Sandler in that one
but
bit.
We all do voices.
He goes full Denzel in Gladiator too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just playing a Brooklyn guy.
He's so great. But
Now-
yes, he does represent that
and also
idea.
good, like again, the singing. Their singing is like it's bad music, but they sound good.
The Irish music.
Yeah.
I think Wild Mountain Thyme, their performance of it, Lola Kirk and Jack, and I cannot remember the other guy's name, I feel terrible. I
look it
think
up.
their performance is lovely of
Yeah.
Wild Mountain Thyme.
But compared to the rest of the music, it's like
Obviously not.
A little bit, but they even acknowledge it in the film. They're like,
I love Pick Boy Robin Clee.
Yeah.
It's such a fucking goofy song. And then when they do that Jaybird and they
do
move
the
their
choreography.
instruments
Yeah.
choreographed,
there's a real brother, where are they?
100%.
Yeah.
It's got a bluegrass feel
Absolutely.
to it.
Yeah.
But it also is like you get when she goes out. It would have been so easy for Haley Steinfeld, to go out and sit with them just while they were plucking away.
Yeah.
But no, you go out and they do a full 2-minute performance and it's lovely. And you're like, we like these guys, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's much more interesting because
what I mean.
Now-
I get it. They seem like a nice folk, but also just a little too, they give us the willies.
And do you know what? Like, and for me, it was like, oh, like Haley Steinfeld's like, all right, you're drooling, I'm gonna go. And you just see that little scene of him just jump in the air.
yeah.
Yeah.
And get up behind them.
And then it cuts and you're like,
This is so we haven't talked about it really, but and Frank, I don't know how well versed you are in the vampire genre or the
very.
vampire lore, but
He knows how
I
to
think
vamp.
that this
Go on, vamp.
Play that bar over and over. Play that bar over and over till you're ready to come in with your dialogue. I'll keep playing that bar over and
Just
over.
tell me when to
Let him
sing.
go,
Tell me
let
when
him
to
go,
come
let
in.
him go.
Yeah, and you missed it.
Where do I come in?
So the vampires
That's
in
a
this
bad
are-
bit for anyone.
Yeah.
That's like, why do we do that? Wow,
Tell
musical theatre.
him it's a bad bit. That'll get him back on our side. We agree that was bad. All right.
Some of our best work.
My mic is loud.
Yeah, no, you're allowed.
I'll go back.
The vampires in this are really, really good, and they take every trope and cliche with the vampire lore and genre and play into it and commit to it so well. The whole needing to be invited inside, the garlic, the teeth, the flying, it's all there. They give you every aspect of it, and it doesn't feel campy
Yeah.
or cringy at any moment for me.
Well, they don't feel the need as, for some reason, Nosferatu, the recent Robert Eggers one, which was okay. I thought was all right. The thing I kind of resent about that movie is how much of it is spent going like, it seems like this victim's blood has been drained and the creature only comes out at night. And they spend an hour and it's like, it's a vampire. We all know what vampires are.
Now-
and this movie goes, I'm going to explain to you what vampires are in 3 minutes. We're going to have a montage. We're going to get ready to fight them. And I'm going to say everything you already know just to get it out of the way. And we're done.
Well, it's
like,
because
yes, that's all
in
we need.
some films the rules are different.
Yes, but this one goes, every rule you've heard is in play.
Yeah.
That's it. Everything you know, it's there.
It's
And-
like it's the classic ones.
How
Right.
does Annie know?
Well, Addie's
vampires.
presumably got some because down in the bayou and down in sort of like Mississippi, down in Louisiana, there were a lot of sort of what was kind of like voodoo.
Oh, so this
adjacent.
is like
voodoo-
this is
voodoo lady.
like a side story to Interview with a Vampire. So they are connected. It's the same universe.
Yeah,
Definitely,
100%.
definitely connected. Yeah.
Don't you remember the scene in this where Brad Pitt was awful? The Interview with a Vampire. But yeah, she knows about all that because she has, and of course she's got her amazing scene where she's introduced with Smoke, and she explains to him in one of the. You're right, Frank, that probably the most emotionally potent thing, aside from Smoke and Stack, which I love, is the backstory with Annie and their child. And she says to him when he's like, I've been all over this world. I've seen people die in ways you wouldn't believe. I never see no magic. I never see no ghosts, none of that.
Yeah.
Just power and money. And she says, you're a fool. You come back here with two legs, 2 arms, 2 eyes, and a working brain, and you don't think that I've been spending my magic and my efforts every day to keep you alive.
And you wear that chain around
And you
your neck.
wear that chain around your neck that I put all my herbs and my special material in there for you, and you don't think that will keep you safe. And it cuts to him, and it's the first time we've seen Smoke emotional in the film. And he goes, then why didn't it work for our baby then? It's so sad.
It's ridiculous in a film about vampires
How well
and
that
mob
works.
guys. How well that lands.
I had a question about when is it Stack goes to bite Smoke at the end of the film.
Yes, and that's why
And
he
the
can't,
necklace-
because the necklace stops
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's so good, and then of course at the end he takes it off and he puts his dog tags back on.
Gotcha.
Because I got to be a soldier now.
Gotcha.
What a movie!
Really great. Now, there's a scene right before the vampire's breach, we're going to call it.
Oh yeah, the breach.
This is what I wanted to talk to you about.
Saving Private Ryan.
Don't say British.
It's where it goes into what we're calling a like a widescreen, and I don't know how to describe it though.
just when the aspect ratio, it opens
Yeah,
up. Like
and
when
it
it's an
opens up.
IMAX, it just
Well, that's the thing because it's not all for IMAX.
no.
So
but,
it,
but
the
like
aspect
almost
changes.
every film,
But
there's like
that moment
sequences.
is cinematic genius to
Yeah.
have that wide shot of the group lining
when they do
up.
their hero shot.
Yeah.
So here was
Oh.
something I said to Frank on the day that I was
Yeah.
like, I think this is close to a perfect movie. There's one thing that really pisses me off about it. And it's that in that hero shot,
Yeah.
you have two random guys on
two
the
extra
right
bodies.
and one random guy on the left. And you're like,
Oh, I didn't even realize.
where have they been the whole time? Having watched it the third time now, they are actually in the juke joint with them when they're doing the test with the garlic and when they're doing like everything else. They are just in the background in a way where they're barely acknowledged. I think that's a flaw. I think Coogler should have just kept it to the main six. I do not think he needed
Either
three
include them or don't.
Yes,
basically.
three extra
Yeah,
random
yeah.
bodies in the
Yeah,
room
yeah.
that I just find distracting. It's one of
Was
my.
it to make the fight look more
I
fair?
think so. It's like if we have all these vampires running in, how are they going to hold them
because
off?
they're pretty powerful. Like
They barely hold them off.
I mean,
it is a
they do.
slaughter.
I would say they do all right.
Are you
Considering-
serious?
The fact that they don't all die
It
in
feel-
25 seconds. Pretty
It kind of feels like they do. It literally feels like in the first 25 seconds of their fight, they've lost.
Yeah.
let's go with
They're never going to win. But
Bo, and that's embarrassing. I can't remember her name now. The actress's name is Lee Jun Lee, and she plays Bo's wife in it. And Bo goes out.
Grace.
Bo goes out and goes to come back, and obviously he's been turned into a vampire. And he says, "We're going to go pay Lisa a visit." Right. By the way, Jack O'Connell speaks to her in Mandarin, Cantonese. I can't remember. He speaks to her in their dialect. And I don't know if you guys remember what he says.
No.
I even know the way you like to be licked. This is the theme of the movie. Pussy eating is like just in there so significantly you cannot get away from it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Moment to
Okay.
moment. And Frank looks mad.
I am a bit. Because you might be right.
Because now I'm considering.
And I wish you just hadn't opened the episode so aggressively.
Oh, you're right. I apologize. But
He doesn't want a cunny like this. Do you know what I mean?
Hey. No. I thought about it.
It's cunning to link these together.
I love that you almost validated
I
my
almost,
worst
but it
joke.
was. Can I tell you my Drake line I came up with?
Yeah.
Yeah, go.
All I talk is money and pussy, money lingus. Thank you, Marcus.
Is that not a real Drake though?
It sounds like it should be,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like if I
funny.
send that to him, he'd send me like $200 back.
That's optimistic.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, the fact that there is an arc in this movie for almost every character who gets significant screen time, and for Grace, it's her relationship with both her daughter Lisa, and then she's so frightened she's got the child that's going to be threatened by the vampires. Them trying to stop her and her screaming, "Come on in then, you motherfuckers," is such a powerful moment. And then her death, she runs past everyone straight to Bo on fire
Yeah.
and stabs him through the heart, and it cuts back to her twice immolated, screaming as she's stabbing him. And you're like, this is some of the most horrendous shit, and it's beautiful, and it's so upsetting.
Yeah.
I love that. I love,
it's
obviously,
full on.
Stack turning Annie and her going, "Not you," and then Smoke having to kill her. And he says, "I love you."
Yeah, this movie is so emotionally resonant.
It's so
it doesn't
emotional.
make sense. It doesn't make sense because it's such a fun. It's fun, right?
It is pretty fun
Even
as
when
well.
it's spooky, scary.
It's ludicrous at times.
Yeah,
And-
it's outrageous. It's massive. It's silly. It's like campy vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Campires.
Great
Damn
stuff.
it.
Good,
Marcus,
good joke.
stop laughing.
Good joke. I do.
You are part of the problem.
Yeah. I
Definitely.
just realised this
Keep
now.
validating him.
I gotta stop giving you the satisfaction. Sorry. Continue.
How is it so emotionally resonant? I don't know how it does it. I don't
No,
know how it
it's
flips the
amazing.
switch so quickly between everything.
This is why it's Babylon to me. It's a movie I hold in
What do you
very.
mean?
I mean,
can't
one's good and one's bad. I guess that's the same.
Yeah,
right?
smoke and stack, good and bad. You know, what do you
agree
do?
with that. I think Babylon 1 is a movie that uses its music in a very particular and very hefty way that very few
Yeah.
movies do, and this movie does as well. But I also think that they're movies about excess. They're movies about the fact that to have something good or have something worthwhile, it may involve a deal with the devil. It may involve engaging with things.
Do you know
that are
what
more,
Tom and that film have in common?
never shut the fuck up.
They both babble on.
See, that's good.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
That's
You
good.
get it?
I do think we made that joke several times in the
I know,
episode,
but we needed it
We needed it back
to stop you.
I also think
Do you want to go in the pantry at all?
it is the
'Cause I
extremity
know
of
you're
the movie that still makes it like resonate, even though it's too much. We could go in the pantry if you want to go in the pantry.
I don't want him to talk anymore.
No,
but
but
I
that's
guess,
what that is.
Yeah, but we
The pantry, is that where
It's
I
a
talk?
device to make him talk more.
Let's
I don't
do
know
it.
why you're like, let's do it.
I love the risk.
In a pantry with a mic. The butler's pantry.
We've given up in the middle bit
Pop the
there.
cork.
Ryan Coogler's deal for this
So
movie.
do you have anything? You start with a. What are you doing here?
Coogler.
Coogler.
The Cougs.
Coogles for this movie.
You do your kegels every day?
I do my Coogles every day, of course. The Coogler for this movie had a deal where he got
the devil?
final cut. I mean, first dollar royalties, first dollar gross.
What does that mean for the listener?
It means that the
gets the
studio
first dollar. He
He
gets
gets the first
$1
dollar. That's
profit.
it. The studio doesn't have to go into profit, or it doesn't have to reach a certain margin, or maybe if it does, it's much lower than usual. It doesn't always actually mean he gets gross off the first dollar, but it's closer than it normally would be, rather than it having to hit like.
Way to explain that
profitability.
so badly.
Okay, he makes money earlier than other directors would.
There you go.
And he
Thank
also
you.
gets the rights of the film reverted to him in 25 years.
Yeah, which everyone thinks is just like a gimmick. But I think it's more of a.
It's
statement.
It's the movie. The movie is about black people having ownership over their art,
Yeah.
and avoiding it being diluted by the powers that be. He made the movie about the deal he got to make the movie. It's fucking genius. It's incredible what he's done with this, where he's made a
It's like
property.
Inception.
Yeah, kind of.
Layers?
Sinception.
Kinda.
Yeah.
But not.
Inners.
Yeah, but it is. It is very interesting that he got that deal. He got $90 million to make this movie, and also for whatever reason, people treated it like. It was so weird when this film came out, as you guys probably remember, and I think Variety was the most notorious one.
Oh, yes.
But there were film publications
Lucky I got a subscription.
being
It's the spice of life.
pretty good. There were a lot of publications writing the trades, writing about how, yeah, this movie made a lot of money on its opening weekend, but let's all calm down, all right?
Not that much
It's
money.
not actually doing...
Minecraft's still around,
Well,
guys.
even though it beat Minecraft on its first weekend, like it was Minecraft the first weekend, Sinners came out the next weekend, and Sinners upset Minecraft by earning more at the domestic box office. And then the next weekend had one of the smallest drops for a film ever. It is the highest grossing original film since Us 6 years ago. It is a film, and of course, both films about the black experience, you know, and separate from IP and established things. Yet everyone, or a lot of people in the trades, were treating like Ryan Coogler had fucking held a gun to Hollywood's head and was like, oh, you're fucked. We're not going to get to make movies anymore. But it's like, this is why we'll get to keep making movies like this. It's insane.
Because people want to go and see original ideas. People want to go to the cinema. People want to experience new things. Like, Marvel fatigue is a real thing. These franchise movies, these IP movies, we're so over it.
Yeah.
Like, even
we're back, baby.
cinema is back.
I think this
fully
is, I think this has
believe
done
that.
slightly worse than Thunderbolts at the box office. And people are kind of being like, oh, thank God Thunderbolts is kind of doing well. And it's like Sinners is like right behind it, I think. I think Sinners
Yeah.
is like
Well, they-
350 right now.
Because they were
Thunderbolts might be a
thinking,
little higher.
If Thunderbolts doesn't do well, then that's our tentpole, right? And then if that falls over, then we have no money to make anything.
But the funny fucking thing is, if I'm writing for one of those
Language.
publications,
Jeez. Language.
sorry, but
Whoa.
if I'm writing, makes me angry. If I'm writing for one of those publications, I would be like, yeah, Thunderbolts made $300 million. That's shit for a Marvel movie.
very bad.
It's
That's what I mean,
not
like,
doing very well.
What's
Yeah.
expected delivery on these
But
things?
At the lowest end, it's like, yeah, that's okay. Like most
Yeah.
of these are meant to make $1 billion. So
yeah, they want like over 700.
Yep.
But the last, how many 5 Marvel movies have made really poor money?
except for Deadpool Wolverine, which absolutely.
Oh, yeah, deservedly.
Yeah, quality.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I see you've come around on that. That's nice.
I heard a song that helped me.
Ben Stiller was the one
When I come around.
Oh, yuck. Ben Stiller, what?
Ben Stiller not slammed Variety, but he retweeted their headline. I was like, in what way is this a way to talk about a successful original movie about, what did he say? No, I don't know.
Yeah, well, just
he's
like-
he's like, Variety, what kind of headline
Why is this your narrative?
Yeah.
Why is it not?
What was the narrative? Sorry,
But
to
they're
be
just
very
like,
clear.
oh, this film has made some more money than people expected, but it actually needs to make a lot more to break even. So
Yeah.
everyone
Oh, yeah.
comes,
No, he's
and
got a point.
they're kind of treating it just like,
Ben Stiller has a point.
Yeah.
and also like, this is a movie helmed by a major black director with a huge black star that's doing well across demographics. But yes, especially that first weekend, I think had a 50% African American turnout in the States. So it's like, yeah, it feels like you guys are shitting on a certain type of movie at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine them
very
writing
pointed.
this about a Tarantino
But
film.
you think about who's in the conversation now. You've still got like Scorsese crops up every now and again. People are still like, this legacy director.
He's great
You've
in the
got
studio.
Jordan Peele and Coogler now at the front
Yeah.
of headlining direction.
But I even think with Coogler, they're like, because Peele came out of the gate with Get Out, won an Oscar, and they're like, all right, well, he's anointed, so he can kind of do whatever. But the attitude was almost like, who does this little fucker Coogler think he is asking for all that? When you're right, they would never say that about Scorsese or fucking Nolan, right? Because they're like, well, they've earned it. And it's like, yeah, I mean, why? That's a fucking terrible criteria to have. That
It
they
is a
need
terrible
to,
criteria.
if they've made a good movie, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Anyway.
Like Robert Zemeckis, right? He made 7. No, but like, hold on, I have a real point.
I was just remembering here.
That's it. He's made so many good, and he sort of has free reign now. He'll get money to make here, to make all these, to make Polar Express, to make these ludicrous films that now you're like, what are you doing, man? Just because you have a legacy and just because you made some great films back in the day doesn't mean you still have it.
Polar Express slander.
Uh,
Great movie, right?
No. Thomas, don't even play that.
I'm sorry to
bit.
go back on it. We've talked about it in so many different pods, but like as you say, the Marvel fatigue.
Yeah.
I think we're really on the cusp of losing it now. I think we're finally moving past it.
Well, people are worried because if Superman is bad, it's like.
Can I ask what you mean when we're moving past the fatigue or we're moving past Marvel?
Sorry. What I mean, we're moving past Marvel. What I think is that we're finally, and I spoke about it in a previous pod, but where the 90s for me is so culturally impactful for what it was doing for films because everyone was trying new things and there was unique storylines and narratives
And bizarre concept.
bizarre
films.
concept. That's it. And they're all coming through again. I think that we're finally we've come full circle. We've moved past the money machine that is Marvel, and we're getting original filmmakers coming through again. Finally.
Well, I think slowly the studios are realizing that, Marvel, like just because it's a comic book movie doesn't mean it'll make $1 billion.
No.
Oh, what do we have to do again? Oh, maybe make original film.
That's it.
It's turning a cruise ship, but it is turning eventually.
And they can modify whatever version worked so quickly that it loses, the bloom goes off the rose. The last one I remember that was like Thor Ragnarok, where everyone's like, oh, they let him do something and it's funny and we all like it. And then Thor Love and Thunder, they were like, what if we never make another one of these?
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah.
Like, who wants this shit?
Because of
immediately?
this, this sounds really awful, but I want James Gunn's Superman to not do well.
It's
Like,
probably
I really
going
don't.
to.
You think it's going to do
think-
well?
yeah.
I've seen the trailers, dude, and I think it looks shit.
Yeah.
I think it looks good. I'm excited for it. I'm optimistic for it. But
But
I
it's
do hope.
stylized.
James Gunn is a very, very hard horse to bet against right now. I mean, he's the guy who kind of,
Even through the Marvel fatigue, he Guardians of the Galaxy.
he got
3
out of
did very
Guardians of the
well.
Galaxy 3 and people could argue that's a pretty self-sustained trilogy. Like you can't, and it always does well critically and commercially. And he's now a brand. And
I don't like
people-
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but I do. I think James Gunn has a pretty good hit
I
rate.
kind of like that movie. I was surprised at how much I liked that
Yeah,
movie.
of course you do.
Anyway, we'll go back to Sinners. So, that's my fault.
I want to talk about one thing about Ryan Coogler while we're in the pantry.
Yep.
Have you seen the video of him explaining what film he's using and explaining the ratios and explaining why IMAX is great?
No, I should watch that.
He is just the nerdiest guy talking about it. So we did this one on 35 millimeter and then we went up to 90 millimeter and then this is IMAX format, which is 270 millimeter. And he's just talking about how much scope you get out of the IMAX cameras and how beautiful it is. And he's
Hear me out. This is why I think you've got. Well, no, it's on your point. Sorry. You've got your Tarantinos, you've got your Cooglers, you've got your even I would say Simon Pegg, for example.
Yeah.
And
these
and Jordan
nuffies.
Peele.
Yeah.
They're just nerdy fanboys. They love movies.
right.
They're just huge movie buffs.
Obsessed.
That got a budget, they got a camera, they got a crew, and people believed in their concept.
Yeah, because you
And
hear them
it
talk about
lands.
it and they're so passionate and they're so knowledgeable.
Yeah.
It's incredible to hear because he spent, I don't know, it's like 8 minutes in this video just talking about film.
Yeah.
And I was
awesome.
like, this is great.
awesome.
This is awesome.
These guys grew up on DVDs. They grew up on DVD commentaries. So it was the
Yes,
first
yeah.
time they
This
had the chance
insider
to
back of
hear Martin
house.
Scorsese be like, the way we shot this was, and they're just like, fucking great. I know how
Yeah,
that's...
Robert De Niro's punching the wall and he's really mad and he missed his life. But we ran
I
out of time.
I want to go on.
time.
I want to go on.
Obsessed with that moment.
It's bad.
Oh dear.
I had
Okay.
another point. Ryan Coogler. What was he going to say?
He was talking about
Do you know
film.
who else is a big film nerd? It's Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
That checks out.
And Tom
like-
Cruise is advocating for movies like this.
This
He's
is
just
it.
like,
and
that
he was
movies
at the
at
premiere.
IMAX, fuck yeah.
He's posting about it with Michael B. Jordan. Like,
He was doing Barbenheimer when Tom Cruise
Yeah.
was a big proponent of that. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning has just been out recently. Obviously, has made about the same amount of money as this. People expect a bit more from the Mission Impossible franchise than that, but still, like,
a strong like,
it's
a
going
relatively
well.
strong
It's
finish.
got Tremel Tillman in it in an incredible role, and you guys should see it as soon as you can. It's a really good movie.
Going to.
Nowhere as good as Sinners, but it's good.
Can we talk about the the credit sequence and the post credit sequence?
Yes.
It is.
Incredible.
Sorry. One bit I didn't like was how easy the win was for Smoke and who's the young guy again? What's his name? Sammy.
Sammy.
They're in the water and then the sun comes up and then all the vampires die. And you're like,
Look,
and I know they've been through the night. They got through it and that's the thing and then the sun comes
It
up.
seems like they
Voila.
cut it pretty. They were fucking
Voila,
around
they
for a
win.
while and they cut it pretty fine.
even Smoke being the one who shows up at the last second and stabs Remick in the back. I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, there are some moments in here where I'm like, I know exactly what's going to happen before it happens. It's still satisfying.
How
but
did it get through the
does-
water without being heard?
I mean, I truly, the third time I watched this, I was like, this is the first time I've had a real problem with this. This makes
Yeah.
no sense. There are 50 other vampires on the shore.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's just,
Yeah,
excuse me. And like
He's-
goes
guys,
into the water.
He's swimming
Yeah.
underwater.
Sure.
Yeah, get it?
That's fine.
yeah, yeah.
That's fine.
That's fun.
But either way,
Little submarine tactic.
yes.
Straw.
You don't like how that part ends with Smoke and Sammy, but do you like the post-credit sequence?
I love the post-credit sequence.
I think the movie is nowhere near, or not nowhere near, it really cements, the legacy it's
I
going to
just didn't see it ending like that either.
No, it's such a brazen
The
choice.
flash forward.
Yeah.
And his buddy guy.
Buddy guy!
Buddy guy.
That's
man.
my buddy guy.
You're
So
not
cool.
my guy, buddy.
Just a nice cameo from him.
That's
to
great.
Be, to be old Sammy
That's
playing in
fantastic.
the club.
He's wonderful.
Can we?
And it's good. Like, it's that nice sort of, I guess, moral victory that Sammy does go out and do something for himself. You know?
Yeah, well, he carries on the scar, which is, it's symbolism, but it's good symbolism of this experience that
Again,
he's had.
so close to being cheesy. He's
Yeah.
got the big scar on his face.
That's it. And, he's got the immortal line and maybe the immortal fucking... The thing that Coogler may not ever top for me is, once a week I wake up paralyzed revisiting that night. But before the sun went down, I think that was the best night of my life. Which you're like,
Yeah.
oh. And then he
Because-
says, was that like that for you? And Stack says, no doubt. Last time I saw my brother, last time I saw the sun. And I was just like, my God. And the way he uses flashbacks artfully, where he shows that shot of Stack seeing Sammy play for the first time again, he shows the two of them watching the sunset.
Because in the bar at the end, they're enemies. Kind of.
I don't know if that's true.
Kind of.
Okay.
But only circumstantially, not morally, because they still love each other, right?
I think
They're
they're
still family.
opposing forces rather
Opposing
than
forces. Yeah, okay,
enemies.
that works. But then you get the flashbacks and they loved each other and they had a great time. Isn't that tragic?
Yeah.
And so nice to see them here and it's amicable. And you're like, okay,
Here's
we're
the thing
fine.
as well. It's what appears to be a biracial couple in the 90s. And it's like they can live now. They couldn't do this in the 30s. So it is like
That's nice.
they achieve something that was not possible without Remick. It's
Yeah.
not a cut and dry case of Remick's a vampire, they're the bad guys. It's
Again,
his instincts
yeah.
are driven by a cultural desire to overcome those in power, to overcome those that exploit us, and to retain some part of who we are, to be part of our ancestry, but also be part of the future. The only problem is you have to be a fucking vampire to do it. And it's like that comes with trade-offs. You can't go out during the day. You have to be someone who
You have to
exists.
feast on human flesh to survive.
It's hard.
hard.
You have to join the union. It's a whole fucking thing. It's
I'm not
You gotta
hearing
wear-
any negatives at
absolutely.
all.
But yeah,
You got to wear those sweaters.
Great.
I think it is. I don't know if I agree that they're enemies at the end there. I think they've taken those different
Sorry, I
tracks.
chose the wrong word.
No, but
you know what I meant.
I guess.
Of that night before, he would have killed him. He would have eaten him and killed him.
Sure.
Or eaten his neck.
Well, he wanted to.
And friends don't do that.
Friends don't do that.
Yeah. Do you know who else auditioned for Haley Steinfeld's role?
Ooh,
Dua
Halsey.
Lipa.
oh, I love when he says guess and then he doesn't let us guess.
Halsey.
Oh, who cares?
And Oates.
No, here's what's interesting about it.
Okay.
Because they were going to call Smoke and Stack Halls and Oates. It's crazy like that. So good.
You remember what you said about not laughing?
No, but that was
That
funny.
was pretty
Yeah,
funny.
shut up, Tom.
They auditioned Halsey because Halsey and Haley Steinfeld are, to my mind,
Frenemies.
two of the only white presenting actresses who have black heritage, and that is essential for the role. Mary is a seemingly white passing girl whose grandfather was part black, and it's true with Haley Steinfeld.
Is
as
it
well.
really?
She has. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
I
I
actually did
don't
not
think
know
they
that.
would have cast her if it wasn't the case, because it would have just been like, you're kind of playing a black character. It would be great to have there, but at the same time, it's like Halsey, her, Nicole Richie. Like it's a short list.
I thought Nicole Rich was adopted.
Nicole Richie was adopted, but one of her paternal parents was still black.
Wow.
So it's one of those things where it's like,
And definitely who I would look at for casting too.
yeah,
so.
I mean, it is.
She's great in A Simple Life.
Yeah.
She's a funny lady.
Halsey.
She's
I have
funny lady.
actually seen Halsey in something. She's in Maxine, the last of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
X-Men.
yeah.
She's really bad in that. So I'm like, I think we dodged a bullet getting.
Great.
Isn't
Haley
she in that
instead.
show with Machine Gun Kelly?
I don't know.
Oh,
Weeds.
my
Weeds.
gosh.
Hey, should we do MVP?
You can't say Coogler, though.
What the
You can't.
fridge, Frank?
What?
What the
Why?
fridge, Frank?
Too
Why
easy.
can't? Why?
Of course you're all going to say Coogler.
Of course it's Coogler.
I'm going to go with Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, okay. I'm not allowed to say Coogler?
Okay, you're allowed to say Coogler now. I thought you were both going to say Coogler. I was like,
Okay.
boring.
I think
Coogler.
Coogler's great. Michael B. Jordan's
Is
performance
fantastic.
is, yes, and playing off himself, even when he has that fight at the end.
Although I really like our Irish vampire.
I think
Jack O'Connell, yeah.
Jack O'Connell's
He's
incredible.
really good.
This is the thing. This cast doesn't miss.
No.
No, it's an excellent. Like
Yeah.
even I think her name's Jamie Lawson, maybe as Perline, which is could easily just be we just need like a very pretty girl to tempt Sammy, and it's like she
Oh, yeah, the
is
singer. Yeah, she's great.
so gorgeous. She's so good in that one song she has, and the fact
yeah.
that she's just come
Yeah.
from something that happened between her and Sammy. I can't remember. It might have been essential to the film, but anyway, she's come from that experience, and
She
she's
did come.
Yes.
I've come around.
I'm saying
Yes.
again, because she's so excited from that encounter from him, she jumps onto the stage. She's like, yeah! You're like, yes, exactly.
I think my MVP will be Miles Caton.
Miles Caton's incredible. In this.
Like, I think the film falls apart without him.
It's a nice intro for him too.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Incredible intro.
Learnt to play guitar for the film. Couldn't play
I
before.
mean, it's slide guitar. It's in open tuning.
Fucking hell.
Wow.
I know.
Guys,
this elitist.
You literally just do it.
So
You're just
judgmental.
doing open 5/7. Like, you could do it. You both could do it. You unco
Jesus,
motherfuckers.
put your shirt back on.
Put it on.
My shirt.
That's
Anyone throwing anything in?
10.6, I'm staying.
Oh, I'm gonna go to 10.5.
Because it's just so goddamn good.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. I'm going up to 8.5.
888.5.
Recurring. Good stuff.
I can't believe I spilled stuff all over myself.
no, we can.
I can't believe you screamed down the microphone for an hour.
I did do that. I'm
I
sorry.
can't believe we're
Wait, you can't believe
friends.
that?
Thank you, Ryan Coogler, for bringing cinema back.
Thanks, Cougs.
We're
back, baby.
Coogler.
Coogler. The Cougs.
Catch us next week on Throwing the Pow. More episodes coming soon.
Throwing the pow.
Thank you for listening to Throwing the Pow. My name is Frank.
My name is Marcus.
My name's Tom.
That was Sinners.
Oof, yes, it was.
That was cinema for you sinners out there.
Oh, cinema.
As if we never made that connection.
Oh.
Send us Instagram, Throwing the Pow, or Throwing the Pow at Gmail, or YouTube, Throwing the Pow, or just tell your friends, Throwing the Pow.
No hate mail.
Throwing the pow.